imagine? LeBron says, I don't get tired. That's a lie. Everybody get tired. What you mean you don't get tired? You human, just like everybody else.
Your take on this particular issue, Shannon, is laughable. But I understand.
Welcome back to NBA Showdown, where the hottest debates in basketball get settled or reignited. Today, we're diving into a serious clash between two of sports television's biggest voices, Shannon Sharpe and Stephen A. Smith, as they go toe-to-toe over one major topic. Does LeBron James face more hate than any NBA star in history? Shannon says yes. Stephen A. says, hold up. And this time, it's not just about the GOAT debate. It's about pressure, hate, and the weight of greatness. From paparazzi to public opinion, from social media storms to legacy comparisons, these two legends break it all down. But before we jump in, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and tap the notification bell so you never miss a moment of truth on NBA Showdown. All right, let's break it down, quote by quote. Shannon Sharpe starts off by acknowledging something we all need to hear more often. LeBron James is human. When Shannon says LeBron absolutely does get tired of the scrutiny, he's not making an excuse. He's stating a reality. No matter how polished or poised LeBron appears in front of the camera, the man has been under a pressure cooker since he was 16 years old. From being crowned the chosen one on Sports Illustrated to carrying the hopes of multiple franchises and the criticism of millions of fans, the emotional and mental toll has to be immense. Social media doesn't sleep, analysts dissect his every move, and while LeBron has handled it with incredible grace, Shannon insists that fatigue is inevitable. This isn't about whether LeBron cracks under pressure, it's about acknowledging that even the strongest shoulders feel the weight they carry. MJ didn't have to wake up to hashtags or meme culture. LeBron does, and he's been doing it for 2 decades. That counts for something.
Can you imagine? LeBron says, I don't get tired. That's a lie. Everybody get tired. What you mean you don't get tired? You human, just like everybody else.
Shannon continues with a bold but necessary statement. No other player has faced the kind of scrutiny LeBron James has. And while that might sound dramatic to some, let's look at the facts. Every generation has its pressures, but LeBron's has been compounded by real-time criticism, social media magnification, and 24/7 sports coverage. Jordan, Magic, Bird, they all had the headline, sure. But LeBron has had live-streamed meltdowns, instantaneous opinion polls, barbershop breakdowns, podcast debates, and Twitter storms for nearly every game he's played. Shannon is drawing a line between the volume and velocity of scrutiny. It's not that MJ didn't have haters. It's that LeBron's critics have platforms, audiences, and viral speed. In the old days, a bad game might show up in the Sunday paper. In LeBron's world, it's a million retweets before he even reaches the locker room. That difference, Shannon argues, is worth more respect than it gets.
You know that, and I know that, right, Stephen A.
Right.
We can debate who was the better player, but the scrutiny that LeBron James has had to go through, no other player.
Stephen A. Smith isn't buying it, at least not entirely. His comeback, calling Shannon's take laughable, but also forgivable. That moment shows a lot. It reveals that Stephen A. recognizes Shannon's loyalty to LeBron, but believes it's shaded by emotional investment more than hard fact. Stephen's argument is rooted in the idea that Michael Jordan didn't just deal with media, he was the media. Even without Twitter, Jordan's every move was newsworthy. Tabloids, nightly news, magazines, he was front and center, globally, before it was easy to go viral. And Stephen's sarcasm here is key. He's suggesting Shannon is overplaying the scrutiny card because he's viewing it through the lens of a digital world. But what Stephen misses, or maybe purposely downplays, is that digital never turns off. Jordan had windows of peace. LeBron never logs out. The debate here isn't about volume of coverage, it's about constancy. And that's where Shannon's point still stands tall.
Your take on this particular issue, Shannon, is laughable. But I understand.
Stephen doubles down by saying Jordan was under a microscope, even more so in his era, despite the lack of digital media. And again, there's some truth to that. MJ was the most watched athlete in the world during the 1990s. Every finals appearance was a spectacle. Every scandal, every baseball swing, every return from retirement covered globally. But the microscope of that era was different, and it was curated. It was filtered through gatekeeping journalists and editors. Jordan could control control the narrative more effectively. LeBron's world, it's raw, it's real-time, it's everyone with a phone and an opinion. Stephen A. is absolutely right to highlight the burden MJ carried, but LeBron is scrutinized by the many, not just the media elite. Jordan faced judgment. LeBron faces judgment, mockery, instant analysis, revisionist history, and endless comparison, all within minutes of a missed free throw. So while both were under pressure, Shannon's argument remains. LeBron's version of the microscope is far less forgiving and far more relentless.
You see what I'm saying? Michael Jordan was under a microscope. And you got to remember, even though LeBron is clearly the biggest star,
Stephen A. Smith introduces a compelling contrast. Michael Jordan stood alone in the media firestorm, while LeBron James had his brethren, close allies like Dwayne Wade, Chris Paul, and Carmelo Anthony, who shared the spotlight and supported one another in navigating fame. Stephen believes this camaraderie makes a difference. In Jordan's day, there was no banana boat crew. It was MJ against the world. That isolation, Stephen argues, intensified the pressure. But let's challenge that notion. While MJ didn't have a social circle that resembled today's tight-knit star community, he also didn't face the open forum warfare LeBron does. Brotherhood or not, LeBron is the face of criticism, not just the league. Even with friends in the league, LeBron is the sole target of narratives like, he's not clutch, he's too political, or he ruined the NBA. Brotherhood doesn't protect you from 24/7 news cycles and meme culture. And let's be honest, while support helps emotionally, it doesn't stop the shots from coming. So Stephen's point about solitude is valid, but in the digital arena, it doesn't insulate anyone.
Johnson and Larry Bird basically saved the NBA.
Right.
Jordan was the one that took it to another level.
Right.
Shannon Sharpe concludes his side of the debate by highlighting a cold truth. LeBron James is rarely given the benefit of the doubt. This is a massive distinction in legacy perception. Every mistake LeBron makes becomes a headline. Every loss becomes a referendum on his greatness. When LeBron passes instead of takes the final shot, he's not clutch. When he scores 38 points in a loss, it's empty stat. MJ, on the other hand, has been almost mythologized. Even his losses, like the early playoff exits, are often ignored or forgiven because they occurred before he was ready. But LeBron, he's never afforded that luxury. Shannon's argument is that this double standard runs deep, not just in media, but in fans, analysts, and even Hall of Famers. LeBron's greatness is always questioned with a but, while MJ's greatness is usually just accepted. No, it's not just scrutiny, it's skepticism that borders on hostility. That's why Sharpe insists LeBron's path has been tougher, even if the rings say otherwise.
That put Jordan in the eye of the storm because he stood alone.
Right.
He didn't have company, Shannon.
And now we reach the final philosophical fork in the road. Was Jordan's era tougher simply because it was earlier and rawer? Stephen A. makes the case that MJ elevated the league post-Magic, and Bird, which meant he bore a generational responsibility. The league's global expansion was on his back. Fair. But again, Jordan's narrative was largely protected by traditional media gatekeepers. He had the grace of editorial discretion and legacy-building journalists. LeBron has had to live in an instant era where fans, trolls, and influencers are the new sports writers. He can't lose Game 3 without it becoming a TikTok skit and a Skip Bayless monologue in the same day. Jordan had mythology. LeBron has metrics. Jordan had gatekeepers. LeBron has gatecrashers. That's why this argument will never truly be settled. But Shannon Sharpe's claim isn't just about comparison. It's about volume, visibility, and vulnerability. And in all three, LeBron stands alone.
They don't give LeBron James the benefit of the doubt that they've given other great players. That's my only argument.
So where does this leave us in the great debate? Stephen A. Smith honors Jordan's era. Shannon Sharpe fights for LeBron's respect, and in truth, both make powerful points. But what's clear is this: the modern microscope is unrelenting, and LeBron James has been under it more consistently and more aggressively than any NBA star before him. Whether you think Jordan is the GOAT or not, Shannon's argument isn't about stats or rings. It's about the battle for narrative control, and LeBron James has been fighting that war from day one. Let us know where you stand in the comments. Who's faced the greater burden, MJ or LeBron? Drop your thoughts, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another fiery debate here at NBA Showdown. Because the game might end, but the showdown never does.